But adjusting. That adjustment period in my first year, my Social Security came in September. So I spent months, I didn't have a salary because I couldn't get paid until. So that adjustment period of settling in, but being unable to settle in because I didn't have all the documents I needed. And then adjusting to learning new systems like Power School, or I think, when Global told us that the most challenging part is the language and like all the abbreviations and all the lingo that you're gonna have to get used to. So I feel like in the classroom, that was the most challenging thing. And then outside, it's finding people who understand. You have to have that circle of help, as I like to call it, that's going to understand what you're going through and be able to support you in that. So I feel like having that adjusting period and the support, learning the differences, and there are similarities, but there are so many differences between wherever you're coming from and here. And so I feel like those are the biggest challenges.
For me, the biggest challenge was to get involved in this culture. I remember the first time that I went alone to the supermarket because in my country we learn standard English. And here is very different, and all the slangs and how people talk too fast. I was like, oh my God, did I learn English? Because all to me sounds like something that I never listened before. And then when I buy the car, because it's something that you have to do by yourself. You can talk to your people by phone, but it's not the same. And you have to make the decision because you need the car. That's a basic necessity here. It's not something that it's not an option. You have to buy the car. And in my case, I don't know too much about cars, but I had to do it. And I went alone just with my transitional advisor. He was very helpful, but the decision is yours. And to see many cars, to see the prices, to see all the things that you have to sign, and all these kind of things, for me, that was like the challenge. But you live these experiences and you learn from them. So they help you to grow professionally, mentally, and you're happy because you receive the help too.
Challenges that I've encountered. One of the most intense one is, the emotional and mental well-being, being able to remain emotionally well and, mentally stable. Especially if you're here alone, it might be a little daunting, but that's where it comes in, you having a community, friends to socialize with, just to decompress.
To start over in all aspects of my life, like being in a new education system, learning like new different teaching methodologies and dynamics, working with different people from different countries and nationalities, and be able to live around neighbors from different countries is something that I would like at the beginning, oh my goodness, that's too much to handle. But then I realized that was something really extraordinary and something very special. And at the same time, helping my family to settle down at the beginning was something that they were like, why are we here? So there were moments of doubt or hesitation. There were moments that we really wanted to combat. But then I reminded to myself that I was choosing for a reason. And the reason was because I wanted to make the difference. And so I was making the things in the proper way. So all these kind of factors, being my family, growing not only in the language, but connecting with people, seeing them through a time smiling, and that we were growing in all different aspects makes me to feel really exciting and motivating. And that's what pushed me every day to be better, to keep going.
One of my challenge, actually it's my biggest challenge, was learning the language. What is more interesting is that we all speak English, but there were diverse accents for me to get along with. I really struggled at the earlier part of my teaching here to speak. I was feared that I would be misunderstood. Nobody would understand because I am not understanding. I've been to staff meeting where I was like, what did they just say? And I had to ask somebody, another colleague, just to tell me what was said. But over time, I learned the accent, the language barriers, the cultures, the slangs, all of those were challenging. But over time, I learned them and I am now fully adapted.